historical moments of time, not only to fight severe virus, but to shape the system.
We have a unique but rapidly shrinking window of opportunity to learn lessons and reset ourselves on a more sustainable path. It is an opportunity we have never had before and may never have again. So we must use all the levers we have at our disposal, knowing that each and every one of us has a vital role to play.
The Great Reset is a welcome recognition that this human tragedy must be a wake-up call. It is imperative that we reimagine, rebuild, redesign, reinvigorate and rebalance our world. Rebalancing investment, harnessing science and technology, and advancing the transition to net zero emissions, all elements of the Great Reset, are fundamental to building the future.
Can't do much right now. Russia's impossible.
President Biden saying don't blame him for the record high cost of gas, which is now $4.25 a gallon.
I can't afford to go to the grocery store anymore. I can't afford food anymore. Usually after work on a Friday, I go down to Chili's and get a cold beer, maybe a 2 for $20. But now with gas prices being the way they are, I can't even afford that.
It's crazy. I have 2 cars, so it's killing me.
Fuel prices have hit an all-time high, and on the 1st of April, the cap on what the energy providers can charge their customers will be lifted. I've already got a text telling me that the cost of warming my family will more than double in just 2 weeks. The whole situation in Eastern Europe, despite curing the Rona, feels distinctly connected to it. The West has been battered and bruised by restrictions over the last 2 years. Many have been pushed into poverty. Many businesses have gone under. A large chunk of those businesses that have survived have cut staff numbers or cut hours, dropped bonuses, etc. And now, while the people are on their knees but desperately trying to build a foundation so they can rise again, this happens, and life becomes even more unaffordable. To offer the solution, you need to create the problem. Now, the solution is the reset, but for people to accept the reset, you must first destroy their lives, what they consider to be their normal. In their desperation to survive, they'll be willing to try anything, and you just happen to have the answer. Buckminster Fuller said, you never change things by fighting the existing reality. To change something, build a new model that makes the existing model obsolete. Well, I don't think Klaus agrees, Buck. He's got the people to destroy their existing reality themselves. In this case, for many people, there's always been a tough decision to make. Do I heat myself or do I feed myself? Doing both isn't an option. Well, if the demons get their way, at least that choice doesn't need to be made anymore, because you won't be able to afford to do either. So, every cloud.
It's not only a great reset, it's a great deception. Replacing mum and dad, small businesses and private enterprises with big tech and big business. Democracy and free enterprise go out the window, totalitarian government control slides in through the back door. Those behind this scheme are adamant that there can be and never will be a return to normal. That life will never again be what it was prior to COVID. That is why they constantly talk about the new normal. The World Economic Forum meets every January in Davos. You will have heard of the expression Davos man. It refers to all the zillionaires and pop stars and popes and princes and politicians who meet every year to map out our futures. This year's Davos is very, very different to all the previous ones. The World Economic Forum, along with the United Nations, along with the International Monetary Fund, and along with any number of prominent globalist organizations and powerful individuals, including Prince Charles, together have jointly promised that the 2021 World Economic Forum will be used to introduce, via a vast network of connected big tech corporations, online activist movements and compliant local and national governments, something they call the Great Reset. This isn't some Sky After Dark fantasy conspiracy theory. It is a global commitment they have made to use the panic and fear generated by the virus as a means to reshape all our economies and laws and move to a new form of capitalism that focuses on net zero emissions.